Hi, Gary.
Danny Barton, hello.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome
I was wondering,
to Making It.
when is he going to call me? When is he going to ask? And now I'm happy. Hashtag life goals complete.
Well, I appreciate that. And I appreciate you joining me. And I'm excited to hear a little bit more about your acting journey, because we haven't really had that conversation. I don't really know all that much about your past and how you got to where you are. So I'm keen to hear that and share that with our global listener base. I'm fucking stumbling over my words already. I'm so starstruck. That's my issue.
Stop it. Stop. I've seen quite a few of your episodes, and I hope to be interesting-ish and reasonably entertaining-ish. So
I am sure
hit
you
me
will.
with some questions, buddy.
Alrighty. So I guess the main thing, the thing that I like to start with is, why acting? Why did you get into this career? When did you get into this career?
Oh, okay. Well, when I sort of left school, I was kind of determined to, be an actor. I guess pursue that line of work. And then, life happened. That's a thing. Got jobs, etc. Ended up in the Australian public service for quite a while. And where I was working, was based in Sydney. And they were going to move to Canberra. And they said, Gary, come to Canberra with us. And I said, no. There's nothing wrong with Canberra, but hello, Canberra people. But I decided to sort of take the payout they were offering and sort of take my lovely lady around the world and begin my life as a working actor / performer / entertainer. And it's been that way for a very long time.
So what I'm hearing there is you had a professional career for a long time before moving into acting. Can I ask what age you were when you decided, okay, now's the time to...
33, I think. And I remember my first ever audition. It was I'd sort of done a lot of part-time acting classes, as we all do. So I was 33, and I got my first ever audition. Was a bit of a, oh my God. It was for All Saints, old medical drama for all you international people here that screened in Australia. Very good. But I got the brief, and it was for a 47-year-old father of 3. And I was really, I was 33. I don't think I look that old. So I always remember that. And I went into the, I think I was the youngest person there by about 10 years. So obviously I was the alternate choice.
Okay. Did you get the gig?
No, of course not. But it
too
was
young and handsome, hey?
Let's go with that.
That's what I'm going with as to why I've not been cast yet.
Matter of time, Ben. Matter of time.
Very true.
So, and then, I sort of went from there, really, from the age of sort of 33 to stumbling to this gig, that gig, and so forth. What was the question?
Was acting or... That always happens. So you said that when you came out of school, acting was something that you wanted to do. Why didn't you kind of do it when you came out of school? What was the hesitation? What stopped you?
Well, look, there was no hesitation, really. I just sort of landed various jobs before landing in the Australian Public Service for the long term, which I actually genuinely enjoyed. I was working at the Commonwealth Employment Service when it was named the Commonwealth Employment Service. I genuinely enjoyed it quite a lot, trying to help people out of, better their lives, get jobs and,
Sure.
But ultimately it was when I got offered the chance of a payout, I just thought, let's give it a crack. And that's kind of what I did. And it's kind of been one happy accident after another, really, because I wasn't really sure. Like when I started at 33, I didn't think, oh my God, this is my goal, a 5-picture deal with Warner Brothers, and I'm going to get a mansion on some Hollywood boulevard somewhere. No, it was just, I'm just going to get try for an agent, see what happens, and that's kind of how this career has gone, really, from one sort of happy accident to another, I suppose. And look, I enjoy it, and I'm lucky enough to, I guess, earn a bit of cash. Roof over the head, food on the table, and I mean, when I say actor performer, I guess something I should say is this is something I do full time. So I don't want to say day job, because it's like that's. But just another form of it. I don't have another form of employment. I mean, what I mean to say is there's nothing wrong with a day job. Don't get me wrong. But I don't have another form of employment. So as I do this full time, I have to do many things. That's the best way to describe it. Acting with everything, that entails. Film, theatre, TV, corporate entertainment, and roving characters at corporate events, emceeing events, being a audition reader on the platform we are both on.
Yes.
WeAudition.
We can give them a shout out. WeAudition, they're great.
WeAudition is fabulous.
We'll talk about that more in a second, actually.
Get on it. So I do many things as a performer, entertainer, yada yada yada.
Cool. So you kind of started to say that when you started at 33, you didn't have the bright lights and big picture movie deals, etc., in your mind.
No.
What was your idea of making it at that point when you were just starting out, though?
All right, this is very unactory thing to say, but I thought, can I earn some cash doing this? Genuine, if I'm honest and genuine, I just thought, can I have a bit of cash doing it? And I guess now I kind of found my little niche, I suppose, and it continues to work for me, I guess. And as long as it pays the bills, so to speak, I'll continue to do it. I mean, I obviously, Danny, I've dressed for the occasion. I mean, when Danny Barton called, I dress.
Unlike myself.
I've literally just came off a virtual sort of murder mystery game I was doing for a whole bunch of people across Australia. So, as I say, I do lots and lots of things.
It sounds like it.
And it's fun. So, it's a bit of variety. And what will just wherever the cookie crumbles, so to speak.
Sure. So you said you used the word before, niche. What is the niche that you found yourself in?
Well, you might say the bread and butter aspect of what I do is corporate entertainment, and so I go and entertain companies with kind of murder mystery shows. Where and for those of you who don't know I'm sorry, people, I'm very big on facial expressions and hands everywhere. Very difficult. These murder mystery shows I do, it's like Cluedo, but with real people. So, people, I give people little sheets of paper before, and on the night, I'm the chief inspector of the law, and I burst into the room, and we all solve a murder. So, for example, Danny, if I'm in the room with you, with a whole bunch of other people, I burst into the room and I go, Danny Barton, where were you on the night of the crime? And what you do is you get your little sheet and go, well, Chief Inspector, I was in the library with somebody else, not the murderer. You know, a liar. And I speak to somebody else and say, "Isn't Danny's a liar, isn't he?" And you know, they say something, and you know, that's the whole accusation begin, and the game begins. So you know, and I'm a sort of wild, wacky, kind of, you know, zany sort of character where you know, it goes for about 2 or so hours, and you know, lots of murders happen in between, and it's seen me well for many years.
Yeah, wow. I mean, I'll be completely honest with you. Now, obviously, I am an actor and I love acting. That kind of stuff, just the idea of it, like freaks me out. It's not something that I think I could. It's not something that I think I could do. I went to Movie World not so long ago and saw the performers acting there, and like I just like my immediate thought was, this is my idea of hell. Like as an actor, I just no, I don't. I don't know how. Like hats off to you guys. I just don't know how you do it, honestly. I mean,
not your thing. You have other niches.
No.
Yeah.
Are you ever faced with? I'm not going to ask a closed question. How often are you faced in those situations where the people in the room don't want to engage with whatever it is that you're doing, and how do you deal with that in character?
Very rarely, because firstly, just to put it into context, I don't deal with public events where it's you know, general public. So it's companies who are there. Well, first off, people who really don't want to go don't turn up. It's that simple. Right. There are obviously people there who are, you know, they as I always say with the nights I do anyway, is 3 types of people turn up to these events. There are the people who are ready and raring to go, and they just want to play as soon as you say hello to them. The other group of people is who are they're a little bit nervous, really excited, don't know what to do, and I just, you know, put them at ease and try to do my best to make them feel comfortable. And as you were kind of referring to, there are those people who will walk in and literally go, "Don't want to bloody play, don't involve me." So I just leave them alone. And what usually happens is halfway through the game, and I see it each and every time, these people who are a little bit, they're kind of lighten up and go, "Yeah, this is not too bad. I might sort of join in now." And they kind of get involved, because at the end of the day, it's lighthearted and it's incredibly silly. You know, and you know, much fun is had, and the staff love it when I usually, you know, brutally murder their bosses for them in front of them. You know, so it's just about creating right, but it's about creating a sort of warm and comfortable atmosphere where people feel confident enough just to go, "Oh, it's not too bad. It's not too bad at all." Yeah. I mean, I am. So one of my main things I do is when I'm with myself or another person with me, I mean, we just mock each other mercilessly. You know, we sort of like, so if they see we're not we are taking it very seriously, but if we haven't, you know, it's like if you're enjoying yourself, so is everybody else, right? And that is infectious. You know, people, you know, because if you're having a good time, the giggles start, and usually the giggles spread, and, you know, it's a good time is had by all. I mean, you see I've seen quite a lot of things during these murder mysteries.
I don't doubt it. I do imagine, though, that at the beginning of the night, I would probably be one of those people who'd be like, "Oh, don't involve me, I'm just here for the booze." And then eventually be like, "No, it wasn't him, it was that guy over there." That would 100% be me.
Oh, look, by the end, anyway. You'd come and play by the end, I guarantee you.
I'm sure. So that's your bread and butter, which is great. When you mentioned before that you don't have a day job. Has that been the situation since you started at 33, or I'd like to did you get a certain way through your career before that happened?
Well, Well, I just say the day job just because I can't think of another way to describe it. There's nothing wrong with the day job or another source of employment. I guess before I go any further, this is my day job. I guess just to point that out, when people say, "What do you do, Gary?" I'm a small business. And, I'm a sole trader. That is my first response. I know it's not very arty and all that. I do consider myself an artist, an actor, and I try always to do workshops and improve my craft. But the first thing I say is I'm a small business, and my business happens to be actor, performer, slash and entertainer, as it were.
Sure. Let me rephrase the question.
Yeah.
At what point in your performance journey and your small business and acting journey, were you able to perform full time versus traditional income?
I would say. So I started at around 33. So I probably about 35, 36, because from 33 to about 36-ish, there was occasional stints, 3-month jobs here, there, and everywhere, doing whatever in offices. But really, since then, I can't remember the last time I stepped in an office, for example.
Sure.
Yeah, and it just for me anyway, thinking of it as a small business, a sole trader, just helps me focus really. So, I mean, if things are a bit quiet, I can go, right, what do I need to do? I need to go and MC an event or sell a murder mystery show or do some acting coaching or whatever.
Yeah. As you know, over the past few years, self-tapes have become the norm, and they are being used by more and more industry professionals to cast all sorts of productions. I've personally recorded self-tapes for theatre and TV and film and commercials, and it makes life easier for casting as they can see more options. But what isn't easy for us actors is finding someone to read for us in the moment that we need them. That's where WeAudition comes in. WeAudition is an online video chat community where you can call someone that has marked themselves available, and they will read for you for your audition. You can use WeAudition to rehearse, film, or just ask questions that may help your audition. Last year I had an actor contact me who had never drank alcohol, who just wanted to know how to play drunk. You can sign up to WeAudition to be a reader yourself. I log into WeAudition most days and I just leave it on, and people call and I accept, and I help them with their auditions. So you can earn a little extra cash doing that, and you can just meet some great people. I even helped one of the main cast of Morning Wars tape an audition towards the end of last year. Look, it's a great platform, and if you're going to sign up to be a reader, it basically pays for itself. So if you want to sign up to be a reader on WeAudition, you can get 25% off using the Actors Making It discount code MAKINGIT. So just go to www.weaudition.com and use the code MAKINGIT when you sign up. I think it's really interesting, and it's a really good mindset to have, to call yourself a sole trader and a small business, because so many people, sit around waiting for an agent to call, whinging about, oh God, I've got to work in a pub, or I've got to do this job that I hate. Whereas I think more actors need to consider themselves a business and that they are a product. And sometimes it's up to you to market yourself and to get work so that money is coming in.
Absolutely. And also, I will also say, there's certainly pros and cons to doing, say, for example, what I do full time, and there are also pros and cons to sort of, having a more traditional income. By having a traditional income day job, you can afford to do something for purely artistic reasons, which rock your boat. I mean, for example, I would love to do a lot more sort of theatre. That's very presumptuous of me, really. Presuming I'm going to get the part and get offered a theatre part. But the point being there is like I just really can't afford to do it.
Right.
And some sort of short films and feature films some which are really interesting. They sound really interesting, great crew, and sometimes I just can't afford to do it. But when you have a more traditional income, you can approach this from a purely artistic standpoint, and go crazy and have some fun. So there's pros and cons on both sides.
Yeah, of
so
course.
to speak.
So let's talk about that and potentially the sacrifices that you've had to make for your artistic career versus your having an income. Because I don't think a lot of people appreciate the sacrifices that you need to make as an actor, whether that be, I'm not going to go and work in the bar tonight because I've got an audition tomorrow, or I'm not going to do this audition because I can't get out of work, kind of thing. So how has this path since you started performing full-time as a sole trader, what are the sacrifices that you've had to make from an artistic perspective over the course of your career?
I think there has been, I can't think of any particular projects that may or may not have landed my way, but I mean, I know over the past, over time there has been, that looks really good, but I have 4 corporate entertainment events during the shoot there. I've got to pay some bills.
Of course.
So I mean, it's by looking at it in that way. Just from a money perspective, it's a life perspective, I suppose. Whilst it's a pain in the ass, but the thing is, I do enjoy the sort of these corporate things I do. There was a time, I guess, for a couple of years where I go, oh my God, I can't do that film. I can't do this film. But I've sort of over the past 5 or so years, just really embrace what it is I do. I'm a wild, wacky corporate entertainer who's been entertaining the likes of the Reserve Bank of Australia, the Institute of Chartered Accountants, whoever, all the big boys and girls in Australian business.
Of course. And is it predominantly, when we're talking about the gigs that you might have had to give up because the corporate gig is on and is paying, are we talking kind of independent stuff that is obviously a volunteer basis versus something that your agent would send you that would be paid work? Or
there's been a bit of both. There's in that respect, it's sometimes you get these last minute agent things. What are you doing tomorrow? And that happened when I was flying down to Melbourne for a corporate gig. I was at the airport that night, just early flight, so I stayed at the airport, and literally whilst I'm at the airport, what are you doing? You've got the gig. You don't have to audition. Can you go up to Newcastle? No. And it was a couple of lines in a show. I can't remember what it was. But I just thought, that would have been good. But it's there you go. And that was by the agent, and it was via it was a while ago anyway. And
how did you approach that with your agent?
Well, was
it just a case of like, I can't do it?
I just try to be as open as I can with my agent. I said, look, I've got a corporate gig. I'm literally getting a 6 a.m. flight tomorrow morning. I can't. I so want to do this, but there you are. Although, having said that, as an actor, it's a nice problem to have.
Sure. I mean, and how did your agent take it? Were they understanding, or were they annoyed?
No, my agent's lovely, and I think it's a business relationship. I chat to her as often as I can, so she kind of knows what's going on, and and if when time and budget allows, I do sort of unpaid independent stuff with people I know. I just look. I'm shooting for the next couple of days on this thing, so I'm not available. I mean, just a honest, open dialogue with your agent is it's just the way to go, and I found that's kind of served me well so far. Yeah.
Well, I think open and honest dialogue can serve everybody well in all walks of life, not just with their agent, but
right.
Definitely, definitely with your agent is needed in this industry, I think. So, I mean, obviously, it sounds like you love this corporate stuff and you work a lot on it. And when you first started out, you said, you didn't necessarily have a plan of this is what I want to do or this is what I want to achieve. Has that changed over the course of your career? And do you have plans now of stuff that you'd like to achieve professionally?
What's changed for me is I try to be, maybe over the past 5 or 6 years, I've just tried to be a bit more, dare I say, businessy about it.
Okay.
If that makes sense. Sort of like, well, these, my internal clients, agents, casting directors, for example, and the various corporate agencies I'm with, I guess, for example, send them new clips as and when they become available, send them new headshots as and when they become available. Just, I'm sending them, product, as it were. And I hope it keeps me in their minds. Well, I guess it has. I'm still working in that field. That's kind of how I see it in terms of plans. I'll be honest, Danny. There isn't really much of a plan. I'm just going from job to job. All these jobs have just been kind of happy accidents. Would I like to be? Sure. Would I like to have a 6-month contract on Home and Away? Probably. Yeah, I think that would be fun. Would I like to do? Would I like to work with some amazing directors in Australia? Yeah. Obviously. But I also just, I just do my best to sort of generate work as and when I can, and also make stuff. What I've been doing the past 3 or 4 years is trying to make stuff, because in this age of readily available technology, there's just no excuse not to actually, I don't know, pick up your phone and press record and see what happens.
Yeah, I know all about that.
Yes, you do, and I can't wait to see that film.
Well, cross your fingers. With any luck, you'll be able to see it in November at SF3. But I'm not going to know about that until early October. So
okay,
that's what I'm counting on.
Yeah. All right.
Anyway, not here to talk about me. We're here to talk about you. I think what is kind of interesting about you and what you're telling me about your kind of career is, like, it's great that you've had kind of these happy accidents, and you're obviously doing what you love and performing constantly. I would imagine, without putting words in your mouth, that it's also an unpredictable life as far as income is concerned.
Yeah.
Talk to me about, I guess, the unpredictability and kind of what that means to you, whether that be financially or from a mental health perspective, of keeping positive and optimistic or engaged in this kind of sole trader business that you have running.
Yeah, well, it's obviously different for everybody, and I guess I'm just speaking from my perspective. I mean, for example, when the first lockdown hit, I immediately thought, well, that's probably the end of that then. Better get a more traditional sort of income, whatever that may be. But
sure.
I just thought to myself, well, what can I do here? I've got to probably won't be stepping on set or stage anytime soon. Lockdown, yada, yada, yada. What can I do? And I just thought, maybe I might push this whole virtual thing. And the reason why I took for example, Murder Mysteries online is, at the start of the lockdown, somebody rang me up and went, "Can you do this virtually? And I went, yes, I can. And I took the details, put the phone down, and thought, how the hell am I going to do this virtually? And I was, and as the lockdown progressed, more and more people were ringing me up going, oh my God, entertain us. We're going mad here. So I was very fortunate to be quite busy in that regard, because just people were tearing their hair out. Just, oh my God, we want to laugh. So, but when it gets, and it does get quiet, you might get 3 months of insaneness and then 3 months of, I just try and go back to that whole I'm a sole trader mindset. What would tradespeople, I'm sure they go, right, I need to get on and sell my plumbing business, so to speak. And so I try to kind of think in that regard. I try to, post on local community notice boards, acting coach available, communications coach available, that sort of thing. Look, having said that, it doesn't always work. And, I get, quiet periods. And so I always have to look at having a bit of money in the bank to cover those periods. And they can be very, I guess, well, for anybody, not just actors, just like, what am I going to do? But I usually, have your panic, and it's okay. It's okay to, I try to go, all right, I'm going to have a panic now for about 10 minutes. Go, get out of my system and go, right, what can I do? What can I do here?
Okay.
And look, I mean, who knows? We're having this chat. I might be suddenly busy for the next month, or who knows? I might have to go and get a more sort of a traditional form of employment in the next month. Who knows how it is? Going to unfold. But I mean, it just trying to knock down those doors and keep momentum running in whatever way, shape, or form, so to speak.
So to speak. Is there a? I know you keep coming back to, you just try and think of it, go back to the sole trader mindset. And if you you said that you've listened to a couple of episodes of the podcast, and like I like to explore kind of the mental health journey that kind of comes with acting. Has there ever been any moments throughout your career where you've kind of where you might have let it get to you and you've considered kind of giving up, and how did you bring yourself back?
Well, look, I hear what you're saying. Getting, I don't know, for me, getting lost in hindsight, coulda, woulda, shoulda, done thing is a bit of a trap for me, because beating yourself up about, I don't know, not getting any work, stuffing up an audition, or making a fool of yourself or whatever isn't going to change anything. Whatever it was happened. So sometimes it's, for me anyway, it's easy to get stuck there. But again, at risk of sounding like a broken record, I just try to come back to that. I'm a sole trader. I'm a business person, because, I'm sure tradespeople don't going, carpenters don't go, oh my God, that was a terrible cabinet. What am I going to do? For me, that helps. That's all.
Okay.
Just to try and look at it in that way. But also, you got to talk to people. You got to talk to other actors who sort of, you just got to talk, who get it, who understand it, and keeping it. It's okay, sort of, to I guess let that affect you in some way, shape, or form. But it's even what is it? I heard some Matthew McConaughey speech. What did he say? Something like, it's okay to be upset and get on with it and then go over it. I like the sentiment, a little harsh, but talk to people, talk to people who get it. And then, it's okay to have a bit of a crappy day, but then, tomorrow is another day.
It is. And every day tomorrow is another day.
Go create some opportunities. If I can, I created a murder mystery company. Let me tell you why I did that. Somebody said no. I went and auditioned for to be in a murder mystery company, and I really enjoyed the audition. I thought, oh, this is fun, and I got the call. Sorry, we like you, but best of luck. And that sort of like, I remember distinctly going, that really pisses me off. I'm going to start my own. So I did.
Amazing.
And here I am today.
You are.
Stories I can tell you about murder mystery. Oh, you know what? I will tell you one murder mystery story. I did one. I did a murder mystery. I shan't tell you where it was. Blue Mountains, lovely place, Imperial Hotel. I'm not saying that, but I was in a function. I was in a function room, and next door is the pub. The walls are paper thin, so if you're in the pub, you can hear everything in the function room. And when I do these murder mysteries, I tend to talk like this for 2 hours straight. Where were you on the night of the crime? That sort of thing. So the gig went well. I took my bows, went next door to the pub to get my fee from the owner. And I'm across the bar, and there's this couple on the other side of the bar looking at me in a rather long and awkward fashion. And they have a bit of a chat to each other. And the guy says to me, mate, was that you next door? And I just go, yep, that was me. So sorry about the noise. And the couple have another chat. And he says, my wife loves your voice, mate. Oh, thank you very much. And he says, would you like to come home and narrate us having sex? Now, I was a little broke that week.
This is a joke.
No, it actually happened.
Did they actually ask you that? Oh, my God.
It literally happened. It actually happened. I was just a little... it was just like... So I just, in my best ridiculously pompous actor voice, I said, I couldn't possibly do you justice. I bid you good night. Good night.
That is... People are into some freaky stuff.
All right. I've got another story for you. Sorry.
How can it possibly top that?
Oh, I don't know. Try this. For many years, I used to tell ghost stories in the Rocks, and Sydney in the Rocks on Saturday night is a fabulous place. And 90% of the time, fantastic. What a great night. 10% of the time, you see some stuff. For example, I was taking a group of 20 people down a dark and deserted alleyway to this haunted house. And sometimes cars park in this dark and deserted alleyway. And I saw a car in the distance. The lights were on. And I could see the guy sitting in there. He had no top on. And this is the Rocks on a Saturday night. And I instantly thought to myself, he's got no top on. He's got no clothes on. So I just thought to myself, I might kind of, shout very loudly to my people, this way, get his attention. Because I had to walk that way to get to this. There was no other way. I needed to walk that way. But he doesn't pay attention. And I say again, this way. And it wasn't until I got to the bonnet of the car and 20 people behind me did he notice. And then all of a sudden, he grabbed whatever he had on the driver's side, and then picked it up, plonked it on his bits, and as we all went by, he was just there going, good evening. And he moved on. And that's not forgetting the couple who were doing it in another alleyway on a Saturday night. But again, you see some stuff. You see some stuff.
You do. Well, I mean, for those actors that are listening that are perhaps not doing walking tours, maybe you won't see quite as much stuff.
90% of the time, it's all good. It's all fun.
Well, the Rocks on a Saturday night is the place to be, apparently, guys. So if you fancy a walk down there, that's what you can stumble across. But moving on from, let's segue away from.
Tone down. I do apologise to everybody.
That's okay. I never professed that this podcast was a family-friendly podcast, so that's fine. You mentioned before.
You'll never have me back.
You mentioned before talking to people, and one thing that we both do is talk to people regularly via WeAudition. They are, I think it's an amazing platform. Tell me about your experience with it and how you kind of got started and why you work with it. Apart from the sole trader earning money part.
Yeah, sure. Well, many years ago, WeAudition, I think, was called We Rehearse. And I signed up back then, forgot about it, and then came back to it during the first lockdown. And for those who don't know, WeAudition basically is a internet-based service where actors from around the world can log on, and there's always somebody there to help you audition, read, or practice lines, and so forth. And I got back on it during the first lockdown, and I have been helping people from all over the world ever since. And I use it also solely to my own auditions, rehearsal period as well, because it's just such a convenient thing. You don't have to bother friends, family anymore. I mean, I can't tell you how happy my wife is. I found this WeAudition thing. I don't have to bother her anymore. It's a chance to reach out to people from London, Europe, Egypt, America, and just find out what it's like over there, connect with people, and sort of get that fresh pair of eyes on what you're doing, and being that fresh pair of eyes for other people. And I got to tell you, I'm pretty much on it every day, and it is it's an amazing platform in that because you work with so many people, you learn a lot. You learn such a lot because you will be reading for people for things that you will never ever be cast for or seen for ever. So I've read for all sorts of things, men, women, children, inanimate objects, monsters, whatever. Everything from horror, drama, Hallmark movies, to children's animation shows. And it's such, you just grow as a person, you grow as an actor being on it. Well, for me anyway, that's what I found out.
Oh no, look, I've had the same experience. And I'm not on it as much as you are, because I do have a full-time traditional day job, unfortunately, at least for another 5 weeks.
And that's fine.
It is fine.
Not unfortunately.
But I do find that I feel like I'm working on my own craft when I'm helping somebody else read.
Right.
And more often than not, they're people in America, and I feel like I'm much better at dropping into an American accent now than what I was before working with WeAudition, because I'm constantly working with an American accent.
Yeah. And you get to practice accents. That's all the time. And you get to practice American accents, or whatever accents.
Exactly.
And it's been and it's quite a humbling experience as well in many, because there are quite a few people I meet on there. They ask me to read for them, and some of them are just so amazing. And they ask, Gary, do you have any notes for me? Lady, I should be paying you for this free acting lesson. Shit. So it's just.
What's the most famous? Who's the most famous person you've helped read?
I don't know. I don't know if any of them are famous, to be honest with you. Just some of them are just, drop dead awesome.
Yeah. I've had a couple of people that I've recognized.
Go on.
So
drop a name.
I can't remember his surname. It's Deshaun something. But he's in the morning show with Jennifer Aniston and Reese Witherspoon.
Get out!
The black guy. And I had an audition not so long ago, and I would never have known who she was if I hadn't had just been watching the TV series Dirt with Courtney Cox, and she was in the first season, and she came on the screen, and I was like, I recognize you, and she's like, oh, and I was like, are you the actress from Dirt? And she goes, oh my God, I can't believe anybody's seen that or remembers me. It's like it's 10 years ago. It was like so bad. I'm like, it's a great show. What are you talking about? But yeah, there's been and I've met some like people that I've become friends with and connected with. In fact, I was talking to somebody the other day. He wouldn't tell me who, but I followed a guy from WeAudition, and he told me, he's like, oh yeah, I was reading for a girl. Sorry, she didn't say girl. I was reading someone for a while from WeAudition, and they used to read with you a bit, and they were really obsessed with you for a while. And I was like, oh, that's nice. Who is it? Oh, I can't tell you who that is. But, good fun. And I helped somebody read that follows me on Instagram the other day. She called me, and she was really nice. She's like, oh, I follow you on Instagram. I love, how's the short film going? And it's just really nice.
Yeah. I mean, you got friends around the world now, right?
Yeah, and you can make a little bit of money from it, which is always nice.
Always nice. Always nice. I can't recommend it enough. WeAudition.com, people. Get on it.
And if you sign up with the code Making It, you get 25% off.
Is that a fact? Okay.
That is a fact. Anyway, I've got one final question for you, given that you operate as a sole trader and kind of a corporate performer. I'm going to focus on the corporate stuff.
Sure.
What would be your piece of advice to give someone that was thinking of kind of moving into the corporate performance world?
All right, well, find a niche, whatever that is. In my case, wild and wacky murder mystery shows. You might be great at mentalism, juggling, magic, whatever it is. Find that niche and promote it accordingly. Have a website and all of that business, and just be fearless with it. That's all. Be absolutely unconditionally fearless. Burst into that room, command the room, command attention. The inner monologue here is going, hey, you people, we're going to have some fun. Come with me. Let's do this. If you can do that, you can do anything. You can make the quietest member of the audience smile and giggle. And, that's kind of what I do and have been doing for many, 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 many years.
Amazing. And I think that's a really good note, not just for corporate performance or corporate entertainment, but just for acting in general. I think be fearless.
Yeah, because if you're having fun, everybody else is. It's like when one final thing, because when I'm teaching people public speaking skills, and I think this is quite relevant, be fearless. Next time you see somebody start a speech at a convention or whatever, or a meeting, and they go, I'm really nervous, and they haven't actually said anything yet, and then they continue with their speech, and then they finish their speech, I guarantee you will not remember what the hell they talked about, because you just sat there going, come on, get through it. Oh my God, they got through it. Now they've left the stage. What was it they said again? Because they were really scared. They weren't fearless. So just get on there, be fearless, have a good time, because if we see you having a good time, everybody else has a good time too. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been Gary Boulter. Good night. I'm kidding.
Well, Gary, I've really enjoyed this conversation, and continue being fearless and amazing.
Oh, thank you. I hope I haven't bored your audience too much, but it's been an absolute pleasure and an honor. And thank you, everybody, for watching. And yeah, I look forward to seeing it.
Thanks, Gary. I'll speak to you soon.
Cheers, buddy.
Bye.
Bye.